answer them. Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. Mbuso Ngcongo, who is a seasoned computer systems developer, having served clients across a wide spectrum. He is a co-founder and director of Watoto Wazania, the African Child, a multi-awarding winning education technology innovation aimed at the foundation phase of education. He is a member of the Unisa Startup Academy, has won the Unisa Innovation Challenge more than once in a space of 3 years. He self-published a book titled In the Beginning of Literacy, Numeracy and Coding the World. Contributed to a chapter of a book of entrepreneurship by a university professor, which is under review, and has submitted a paper which was accepted and is currently under peer review. Mr. Mbuso, are you ready, sir?
Yes, I think I am. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, wonderful. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Awesome stuff. Okay, let's see if we can get the sharing right. Oh, I think it's Poppy is coming up. Okay, let's see. Right. Okay. Now the next issue is going to be whether you can see it in a presentation mode.
Yes, you may proceed.
Can you see it in a presentation mode?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let me know when I can get started.
It is blank on my side here. Oh, here you go.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
okay. Let's.
Everything is perfect. You may proceed.
Very much. Yeah, my name is Mbuso, and I titled this Advancing Entrepreneurship Through Education, to create a value and addressing the continental societal challenges in the digital era. And we'll know why shortly, but the presentation format will follow the structure as follows. I intend speaking on entrepreneurial skills, and talking about my entrepreneurial journey, and speaking of the career opportunities in the fields of engineering. Right, and without further ado, I will start off with trying to define what entrepreneurial skills are, and what it is to be an entrepreneur, and why would you want to be an entrepreneur, and how do you become one, and who does, and what qualifies you to be, so therefore, in looking at the question of what it means to be an entrepreneur, I looked into a dictionary, Cambridge Dictionary, which says it's someone who starts their own business, especially when it involves taking risks, by seeing new opportunities. Really, all that it means to me is it's someone who tries to remove pain for a reward. And I'll explain what that means. So there has to be a trigger. There has to be something that triggers you to identify a pain, and to say, here is someone who is feeling a pain. My expected results are to remove that pain, either through my expertise, my know-how, and hence the skills. And what are the requirements, therefore, the skills, to be able to identify the opportunity, to be able to articulate it, and to be able to innovate. And, what is the incentive? Why do you do it? There has to be a reward, either, in financial terms, money, or there has to be satisfaction. I did it first, or, and how do you become an entrepreneur? I'd say you have to pay attention. You have to pay attention, and you have to use your unique set of circumstances. Everyone has a unique set of circumstances. And you have to have the passion to change what you cannot accept. We'll come back to this picture. If you find something that really annoys you, or it frustrates you, it might not necessarily be your pain, but it might be somebody else's pain, and that's the starting point. So how do you then innovate? How does one innovate? One innovates. One becomes an entrepreneur. Through the process of innovation. Coming up with an idea, ideation, and designing a prototype. We speak of the minimum viable product, and to iterate, hit repeat. So why would you want to innovate? This is very fitting because I was listening to a previous, I wanted to say caller, who says, for instance, quite sadly, that has not been employed, since they graduated, and that, in essence, is the reality. That is the reality of why you might want to get into entrepreneurship. It might be your only way out. I want to talk very briefly about certain examples of innovation. By the way, there's a very close link between innovation and entrepreneurship. Innovation drives entrepreneurship. Businesses revolve around something that has been created, something new. And I just thought I'd throw in a few, examples of the innovations. My favorite one is the coat hanger. The coat hanger invented in the 18th century. Someone walks in and they find that they cannot hang a coat. All the slots have been taken. And then they take a wire, they bang the wire and create a coat hanger, and then they're hanging their coat, and find that those who look at this find that the way that this coat is hanging is kind of superior. It carries a certain level of dignity because it's not just hanging on a piece of wood, but it's hanging almost like somebody's wearing it. And someone the following day went and patented the coat hanger, and it has become an ordinary part of utility, part of the furniture in almost every household. And of course, you can talk about the toilet, which is a beautiful piece of engineering, which has opened up, a whole lot of opportunities in terms of plumbing. Today, there are plumbers. There's businesses that revolve around that innovation, that invention. And of course, I wanted to just, applaud the engineering, department of the, of Unisa. For having invented and showcased the first vehicle that was built by students, I think last year, which was showcased last year, and of course one of the patents which sometimes you might not even be aware of is the U.S. patent by Michael Jackson, which is creating an illusion that you are against, the force of gravity. And so in fact, this, is an invention which was patented, and the patent is owned by Michael Jackson and the companies. And I wanted to also mention here that by projections, later on I will talk about AI, artificial intelligence, and, that it's expected to hit by 2030, $184 billion US. And you might want to take a piece of the pie. So I've come to the end of the first section. It's been a marathon. I wanted to get through this section very, very quickly, and I hope I've been audible. But that's the first section, and the reflections on it is really to say, I wanted to talk to you about the theory that why entrepreneurship and what it is about, and then I want to tell my story, my journey on entrepreneurship. And my story really begins in 2020. And in 2020, I could not take my children to a preschool due to the national lockdown. So I signed up for an early childhood development online while I was still a student at the University of South Africa, studying my Bachelor of Science in Computing. And where I learned that 2/3 of a billion adults cannot read, write, or count, and that 2/3 of a billion children also cannot read, write, or count, even though they are in school. I realized that this, poor participation in literacy and numeracy and poor performance will lead to poor participation in the stream, which is your science, technology, engineering, reading, arts, and maths. It really leads to poor participation in the fourth industrial revolution. And I wanted to do something about it. So that is the pain that I identified, and I wanted to do something about that. I started by conducting a bit of a study, desktop study, looking at the period of the 2011 to 2021, and looking at the societal factors that has had impact or negative impact on the public education sector in South Africa. And what I found, I termed the DIP3C, which is namely the digital divide, inequality, poverty, crime, corruption, and COVID-19. And I then decided to build something which I called Umbalabala. Umbala is a color, Ibala is Ibala is to count, Ibala is to space, and so Umbala is to count, and therefore I wanted to bring all those concepts together to create a learning, assessment, and teaching tool that can be put in any environment, to allow children to learn. And it comprises of a board game, what I call an EduStation, as well as a workbook. And this is really what we did, what I did at the time. I looked at the environmental impact and said,
Sorry, Mr. Mbuso, can I please interrupt?
Yes. Please do.
Your presentation, is it still on the first slide or?
Oh no, it has moved. I have been moving.
Okay, because we are all still on the first slide.
Oh, gremlins. Oh no, okay. My very sincere apologies. What can I do now? Are you still seeing the same slide?
Yes. Okay, let me check from my side. Which slide are you on?
Actually on slide number 18 already.
Okay, I think I might have control from my side. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to sync to your presentation, but I don't think so. Are you all still on the first slide?
Okay, let me stop the sharing and read.
Oh, okay. So it seems the presentation has been shared as a file, so I think everyone can take control of your presentation.
Oh, okay. Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, on my side, I can go ahead. Which slide are you on?
Yes.
No. I think you've got that is an old presentation that you are looking at. Oh, I see what has happened. Okay. I'm presenting on my side here. Okay.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, let me know if you can see.
Yes, you can see.
Can you see the environmental impact?
No, we're on the first slide.
On the first slide. Okay. Oh no. Okay, let me quickly email you the presentation. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
The presentation, I see the presentation you are projecting there. That is a presentation I did last year, and a lot has happened.
I think we can still navigate ourselves.
Yes, we can navigate ourselves.
Yes.
You can just tell us which end of the slide you're at.
Yeah, I'm saying that the slide that I'm seeing being projected here is an old slide. It's an old presentation which I did last year.
So it's not the same presentation.
It's not the same presentation.
Now.
Yes, that's probably why. My sincere apologies. I'm sending to you now. Okay. Now I'm panicking and I'm losing myself. Oh, okay, let's do this. Browse this computer. Okay, I've just sent you the presentation. Right, and I think while it's busy trying to, find its way to you, let me try again and share and see what options do I have here. Okay, I have the option to upload. Okay, it looks like it.
Mr. Mbuso, I think I got it, but I got it on PDF.
Yes, that's fine. Please go ahead. I didn't want to convert because I'm using LibreOffice, which is Open Office. So please go ahead with that. That should be fine.
Okay. Which slide were you on? I don't know. Okay, can you please hold on?
Yes, I can see it.
All right. Which slide were you on?
Please move down. I think it's number 18 on my side. Yeah, I did speak about change what you cannot accept and that it may be your only way out. And this is where I was. And then I started my story. Yes. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so I began my story in 2020 where I could not take my children to a preschool due to national lockdown. Please move ahead. And I mentioned that I then investigated, to realize that, 3/4 of 1 billion children, adults cannot read, write, or count, and that, 2/3 of 1 billion, children also cannot read, write, or count. Let's go to the next one. And I did the study, the DIP3C, which is your digital divide, inequality, poverty, crime, corruption, and COVID-19. Please, next slide. Right, and this is then what I did. I then started, noticing that by using the bottle caps, there are lessons that can be taught to children. Next slide, please. Let me say, I think that will be faster. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, and then it comprises, the toolkit then comprises also of a workbook, which is titled in the beginning of numeracy, literacy, and coding the world. Next slide, please. And one of the members of the workbook is what is called the active calculator. And the active calculator, for instance, is a paper-based, but it allows all the mathematical operations to be conducted on a piece of paper by a 7-year-old. What you are seeing right now is a fairly recent, test that was, 7-year-olds participated in that, and the lowest score was 81%, which was scored by a 7-year-old, doing this mathematical operation, which is a 12-digit multiplication. Next slide, please. And the EduStation, I then wanted to bridge the digital divide, and so I invented, the EduStation, which is a low-cost, high-quality toolkit that bridges the digital divide. It allows the interaction. That's not a touch screen; it is an ordinary screen. But by incorporating a camera at the top, I could then use the concepts of computer vision, to give the computer an eye to see how your response as as interacting and engaging with it. Next slide, please. And the value proposition really is to provide a low-cost, high-quality toolkit that accelerates learning regardless of the learner's background. Next slide, please. I see the heart. Thank you. And in 2021, I then, together with others, did a bit of a pilot, an early pilot, in which we went to the side of the road where street kids live. And there we gave them the games. We gamified the foundation phase, STEM, mathematics, numeracy, using the bottle caps. And, we found that at the end of the 3 months, we had engaged with 526 children, 243 parents, and recruited 44 volunteers. And just by the way, one of the children who actually constructed something there, I said, "What is it that you are building?" And they said to me, "I'm building a bridge." And I said, we used the tubes and connectors, to really build things. And it was an open space where you could build what you like. And this child said, "I'm building a bridge." I said, "Wow, that's incredible. Why are you building a bridge?" And he said, "I'm building a bridge because my brother drowned last year. If there was a bridge, he wouldn't have drowned on the river. And, I want, when I grow up, to build bridges." Next slide, please. So for me, that was one of the very touching moments, to realize that what we are doing, next slide, please, has impact at a personal level. We have received recognition, by the University from the University of South Africa through the DITTC, which is your Directorate for Innovation, Technology, Transfer, and Commercialization, which has supported us, over the past, 3 years. And I'm still a member of the Startup Academy, and in the process, the university has allowed us has exposed what we are doing, and we are now supported also by the University of Basel, which is Switzerland, Moses Kotane Institute, as well as, Cambridge, University of Cambridge, through a project. And last year, I had the classic opportunity to present at the United Nations in the ECA by invitation at the Economic Commission of Africa. Next slide, please. Thank you. I love those hearts. I can see them. And in the process, this has taken us, myself and others, to 9 different countries over the space of 3 years in 5 different continents. Next slide, please. Including the very recent one, which was last year at the United Nations, and hence I was standing next to the flag in Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, at the headquarters of the United Nations. A very, very historic moment for myself and for the team and for the work that we do. And therefore, so I conclude this section by saying to you, if you want to become an entrepreneur, and sometimes that can be the only way for you, that can be the only way out, pay attention. Pay attention to details, focus on the pain. What is it that someone is feeling, and what is it that you are feeling? Change what you cannot accept and accept what you can't change. Talk to the users. You are an engineer. It's very easy for you to talk very much above your users, by using terms that they will never understand. You probably have a term for a bridge that I don't know. But anyway, believe that you can. Believe that you can do it. Whatever the solution, whatever the problem is that you have identified that resonates with you, you can have the solution, even if no one has made that solution before. And of course, get started. Just do it. Just get started. No matter how haphazard, how people will laugh at you. That too is okay. But never give up. Next slide, please. And challenges will always be there. challenges will always be there, and and I deliberately, put along with these, the images of the robots, robotics, which are challenges. The robotics are challenges, presents challenges, and some of those challenges include the loss of jobs. Where now, job which was done in construction, whether you are in the civil engineering, work that was being done by 12, 13, 14 people, or even 100 people, can now be done by a single robot that is owned by one person, which can work overnight, no holidays, doesn't strike, and so on, has no human rights, and so on. So those are challenges in terms of, but what do you do within the space of those challenges are opportunities for you. You join in, you make what you do, what you can do, but bear in mind that the robots are here. Whether you approve of them or you don't, they are here. They are flying over your head. They are taking over your space. They are doing the calculations you've been failing tests and passing tests, to do manually. They are arguing in court as lawyers. So whichever space, the artificial intelligence is there, it presents a challenge, but yet, at the same time, it presents an opportunity, for you. Next slide, please. Identify that opportunity and work with it. And therefore, I want to pose a question as we come near to the end, to say to yourself, please reflect on this and say, how will your engineering career impact on someone else's life? How will it impact on the society that you live in? Next slide, please. Bearing in mind, I mentioned the notions of the DIP3C, which is your digital divide, inequality, I did, you might not have seen this slide, but, I wanted to bring this slide, and talk about the pain that, that you want to alleviate. And very interestingly for me, and I'm extending this invitation to you, to your esteemed guests, the Department of Science and Technology has, arranged a webinar, which will be held on the 22nd of, April this month. The link, I can share the link if anyone is interested. It's an open, platform. It's an innovation day, where, the theme is about creativity, and it's very interesting that one should take part in that. And what is actually interesting about it is that one of the inventions which I'm really looking forward to is an invention that is called the Splash Be Gone. Very, very fitting title, because this individual, it would appear, suffer the same pain that I suffer silently. It appears that some of us, or I would like to imagine almost everyone, has experienced this. It's a very private thing. When you are in the toilet, you are relieving yourself, and somehow the splash finds its way to you. It just finds its way to you. So it seems someone was annoyed and decided to do something about that, and invented a certain solution to it that prevents that. It's very interesting, and it's called Splash No More. It's one of the inventions which has been supported by the Department of Science and Technology, which can scale up. You can imagine how many toilets are there in the globe. Next slide, please. Now, I then conclude my presentation. Umbalawala. Umbala is a color, Ibala is a space, please let's engage, and that's on Linktree. If you go to Linktree, you can find a whole lot of links. That's my contact details. We're more than welcome to contact myself. But I think also I want to conclude by mentioning to you that I think the whole idea for me to present today is not to provide you specifically with an opportunity that says, here is work opportunity for you, but to say to the likes of the student who came up and said, I have not been employed since I graduated, and I want to say to them that perhaps for you, and for others, entrepreneurship might be your only way out, for you to remain alive. I wish you all the best, and in your future professional endeavors. And thank you very much to those who have afforded me this opportunity, and to those who have listened to me. I hope you could see my good-looking face.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mbuso, for that presentation. Please do not panic. The presentation will be shared with you guys. Because of time, we will not be able to take any questions, but please post them on the chat and Mr. Mbuso would gladly answer all your questions. Now, last but not least,